Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening once again, folks. How are we? It's hump day, so we're on the way back down of another week, guys. Yeah, we have to have a look at where we're up to. You got Darren, how are you, mate? Good evening. Yes, well, that's what's happening with our Facebook. We've worked out, guys. We won't be complying, so as we've told you, very soon. But what we will be doing, I'm not going to say, but because I'll just maybe target that channel, you know. But yeah, we got a couple of people out there that also got channels. So we at the worst to stay on Facebook through someone else's account, we will do that and then inform you on it, guys. But yeah, it's look. We all knew it was coming, right? Net zero, the battle's on. They're in Parliament ripping each other apart. You know, like Bowen must be under pressure, especially with his big blow up yesterday after they turned that thing on. You know what I mean? So good to see, guys. You know, because the more general public, you know, realizing what actually is going on. Now, something I didn't mention the other night, but I was just going to is, you know, small business. I think it could be from 30 to 100 employees. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But it's something around that figure. So anyone with like up to 20 odd employees, you're not even considered a business by the government, okay? Seriously, that's how it is. Me and Mel have been through this, all right? We've run companies and construction companies and rah. So we're hearing on a survey, all right, that 2/3 of small business don't see a future past the next 12 months. So in 12 months' time, they don't see a future for their business. Now, take into fact what I just told you guys, that the government only classifies small business from about 30, 20 odd, right, somewhere around there, to 100 employees. So all those small people underneath, we're not even talking about. So what we're talking about here is a major amount of industry again, guys. Okay, you know, probably the final like crutch of the backbone that we've got left is not seeing a very good future. Now, we knew it was coming. I'm just letting you know again, all right, that this is what we're hearing out there. They don't see any future. You know, they want to leave a a business for their kids, you know, and their family, but they don't see that. They don't know what they're going to do, but they don't see a great future past the next 12 months. So we need to be able to turn that these people are thinking, okay, and actually maybe target these people, right, and let them know what's coming. So there's an idea on firms that you could look at, or businesses you could look at out there, guys, like people like Craig and that, you know, like to go and target these people with information and that sort of category businesses, okay, is what we're talking about. 2/3 of them, guys. So that's big numbers. That, yeah, unbelievable. So what else is going on around the traps? So a drastic drop in road safety enforcement linked to a rising road toll. Well, how can they say there's a drastic drop in road safety enforcement when they're handing out fines left, right, and centre, guys? They've never made more money off friggin' fines, etc. They have cameras absolutely everywhere now. All right, Brisbane's just doing a new trial. They're like parking inspectors. You pull up, do the wrong thing, it's photographing every 30 seconds or something, I think it was, taking a photograph. And if you're in the wrong spot over a yellow line, whatever, and guess this, for over a yellow line, guys, how much? $333. I say no more. Okay, city hires inspectors to snoop in residents' garbage cans to make sure they're recycling properly. There's a fine coming with that too, guys. Don't believe me. Right, but this is what they're doing. All right, you aren't responsible. You can't do it. It's like your kids. You can't look after them. As far as the government's concerned, you're useless. Albo, oh, you know, he's the man that needs to be looking after everything. Money troubles push more and more Aussies into side hustles, and we are seeing a lot of these guys, but they're going to tax the side hustle soon. That's why they want the digital ID, guys. All right, another reason. It's not the reason, sorry, but it's another reason. All right, they can control what's going on with people making wages that they don't know about, you know, and that's why they want to nail the cash, guys, to slow all this down. They're heading for their agenda very quickly. We, the people, will stop them. And, yeah, the net zero scam, as I said, guys, the scam's being unfolded. Have I any faith in the people that are unfolding the scam? No, not really. Okay, but they are in there, and they're, yeah, they're bringing a few things to light. Okay, so that's what we need, because then what do we got? We got people in this movie that are actually reporting on this stuff, right, and bringing it back to the general public, which is where we need to be there to be able to relay the important information that needs to be relayed, guys. Because, yeah, Caz has been, you know, out today talking to the general public, and, you know, people are waking up, she said. They don't really know what to do, but they're out there and they're realizing that just shit ain't right. So whenever you're ready, Kazza, and I know Albo signed up with Indonesia for another defence treaty. How much money did that cost us, Kazza? I haven't had a chance to look into it, but that would have cost us something.
Yeah, well, it's not just Indonesia. Also, it's one of the islands as well. So, you know, he's just throwing her. And the guys had a list of corruption, you know, problems as well. But
yeah.
it's just,
that was that's new. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Look, it's just everything. Look, here's Rocco. He's on the case for our day 2 of the 11 days.
Rocco, buddy, an update with my the 7-day strike commencing on the 11th. I've just been busy completing bills of exchange for council rates. Michael Short's E is the king of bills of exchange. I urge everyone to, you know, get his latest templates. They are incredible. The guy is a legend. He's given me a thumbs up for my document that I've just sent to council. And as far as work is concerned, yes, the 7-day strike. I've got my beautiful Holden HR here that was due to be repaired today. I've got rust work that needs to be completed, and obviously it won't be completed until probably about 3 weeks from now, after the strike is over. And as far as my signature, I have to sign every day to make sure I'm complying with all the conditions in my contract. And we have the contract just here, guys. It's all fully signed. You can see Wednesday, the 12th of the 11th, Rocco Vardy signed and sending tremendous love.
Go buy your undercoat and everything cash from a nice private paint supplier, Rocco, and get in and do it yourself, mate. You know, get in there. You'll have it done in a day. Good on you, bloke.
All right, so look, we've got heaps of stuff coming at us now. I have to thank one of our viewers that they sent me this and made me aware of this. So what's happening now is the beneficiary. So if you've got life insurance, what's happening is, it says here, binding or non-binding, will decide who to pay your super benefit to when you die. Go down here, guess what? It says, just that little first bit that's highlighted there goes, dependent under tax law is a child of the deceased under 18 years old. Then if you read down further, it says children over 18 years old must be financially dependent on their deceased to be considered a dependent. So your superannuation that used to go after your expenses of your death were taken out and your burial used to go to your children. No.
They're just coming for everything, guys.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. No.
Yeah.
We're going to own everything.
No future. You know, this is all part of it. This is your children, guys. Your children. Their money you've worked for and you've been taxed enormously on. Imagine how much money you'd have if you hadn't paid tax all your life like you shouldn't be.
Mm.
Oh,
we have a number of interesting things happening, though. First of all, there's this interesting one. So former CFMEU boss John Setka has been arrested on 7 charges of harassment. So now what they are is online harassment. Yep. So he's been sending nasty emails, which is very, well, I think it's actually quite odd that they're actually going through with that, considering that he is a union boss, and considering I think I think there's more to that. Now, what's happened here is Drew Pavlov has picked this up. The High Court of Australia has just ruled that the Australian Commonwealth Government is required to pay the government of Russia Federation compensation for terminating Russia's lease of land on the doorsteps of Parliament House. So, but what I find interesting about this is it's actually Commonwealth of Australia.
Wow.
What's with that?
Okay.
Guys, can we get anyone that's in the constitutionalist to go through that with a fine-tooth comb and see what that ruling means for we the people? Because it's rather interesting.
Put it in layman's term for a concreter, and the beautiful lady beside me that's very intelligent, so you won't be able to fool her either, guys.
Oh, teacher. All right. Now, we have this report by Sean Emprose on Greg Combay, and it's rather fascinating, something that I didn't know.
Chairman of the Australian Future Fund. The Australian Future Fund had invested with Orbit Systems. Greg Combay should be referred to the International Criminal Court for being an accomplice to war crimes and genocide.
So why are they actually funding that?
Because this is what they do, Caz. We're not in the club, mate.
But it doesn't get any better, because you've got this report about Plebisek and Centrelink. Have a listen to this.
Through the process of parliamentary committees and scrutiny, and now at the last minute we have this massive overreach by Minister Plebisek, where she's tacked on a completely unrelated amendment, and there has not been any opportunity for debate on it. So what this amendment does is means that welfare recipients who have been accused, not convicted, of a serious offence will actually can potentially have their Centrelink payment cancelled. So it takes away due process for welfare recipients, but it really fundamentally undermines the basis of the justice system in this country.
Do we know what a serious offence is, Christian?
Yes, so they've got it's fairly broad, although they've tried to make it sound extremely narrow. So they are talking about violent offences, they are talking about sexual offences, and of course we know these are extremely serious offences. There is no debate about that. The concern is that what this does is put people at risk who have not done anything wrong, while at the same time not achieving anything useful to protect the community.
Now, just take us back for a minute and have a look at Tanya Plebisek's partner. Michael Coots Totter's journey from drug smuggler to head of justice system.
Yep, heroin dealer, and he gets the head of a justice system. Yeah. Can anyone explain that to me, guys? Any of you brilliantly educated people out there in the audience? A heroin dealer.
Look, it's just like the level of everything that's going on is just outrageous. You know, you have this situation now, because with the neo-Nazis going on.
Tighten protest laws and crack down on hate speech. The Minns government will reintroduce laws allowing police to move protesters on outside places of worship after the Supreme Court struck down similar laws last month. The move follows last weekend's neo-Nazi rally outside State Park.
So they've just had those laws struck down. They've also had pushback because of the revealing of the Jewish protection laws or anti-Semite laws, okay, were based on a fraud. On fraud, it was based on fraud, okay?
Jural.
And then the Jural Caravan, that's correct. Sean's put this together, and I think it's pretty good dots that he's joined.
A backdrop for neo-Nazis. How this happens now plaguing police and the state government.
So open, so brazen outside one of our symbols of democracy in this country. It's unacceptable.
They had a Form 1 application for yesterday's gathering, approved by local police without the Commissioner knowing about it.
Accordingly, I had not briefed the Minister of Police or Government.
Lest we forget the agenda of Nazism and Zionism and how fascism is built upon a military dictatorship and a police state. Anyone with a half-functioning brain can see that this was deliberate and for purpose of empowering the Zionist lobby in Australia. Zionism and fascism work hand in glove, and for the purpose of providing the Zionists with absolute control. One would only need to reflect upon Joel Davis and his connections to the Zionist cartels. Wake up, Australia.
And he is correct, because remember, 20% of Hitler's SS were actually Nazis, were actually Jews. So,
Jews.
yeah, you kind of have to like take a step back and join the dots here and go, who's benefiting? Oh, there's one particular group. They only ever target one group. They blame everything on the Jewish lobby. And we know that Jews and the Jewish lobby are separate. Okay, but the Zionists, okay, who further the Jewish lobby. Well, what about the Qatari lobby with the Muslim Brotherhood? What about the CCP lobby? What about the Indian lobby at the moment? Like, you know, and like you've got situations like this that you've got the Punjabi
lobby.
Now exactly. Uproar in India as fugitive accused rapist Punjabi politician resurfaces in Adelaide. Now, this guy was actually, when they went to arrest him, he's just basically fled to Australia. Well, what does that say about Australia?
How does he get through customs? Like, you know, we can't get out to another country hardly. Like, unreal. Yeah.
It is. Now, Babbitt's put out a bit of satire about the digital ID. I'll play a bit of that, but we do have some good news on that, because that actually is being taken to the High Court, and I've read the intentions of what they're arguing, and I actually think it sounds pretty good.
The bill, the Online Surveillance and Tracking Act. Well, that sounds a bit evil. Right. Rebrand then. Let's change the name to the Online Safety Act. Much fluffier, but how do we get people to let us track everything they do online? Easy. Just say it's for the children. Classic. And the method? Age check, scan your face, link to a government-approved ID, digital ID. So, surveillance for everyone. Exactly, but sprinkle in a bit of glitter, a bit of toddler tears. Who's going to say no to safety? No one. Parents will love it. Protect Timmy from evil memes. Meanwhile, we quietly track their shopping, voting, Google searches, everything. Sneaky. We'll bury it in 500 pages of prevent online harm jargon. So we're just copying everything that the WEF tells us to do? Exactly. The UK's face scanning right now. VPNs could soon be banned. Sites censored. How good is that?
So, but what has actually happened here is also John Ruddick has announced he will challenge the federal government's social media ban. So he says that it violates implied constitutional freedom of political communication. absolutely correct. Well, that's not what they'll argue. They will argue that, you know, that it's, politics, kids shouldn't be involved in politics anyway. So, but the thing is that at least it's a decent argument, as opposed to previous arguments that have lost in the High Court, and we have had to wear the fallout of their losing because they've set precedents.
Exactly. That's what they do, isn't it? You know, it's very good how they just lock you up, guys. You know, they're good at it. But anyway, they can't lock us all up, and they can't lock us all into their system, because if enough of us stand up, we're right. But yeah, I hope you're using cash, guys. I hope there is no, and did you hear that menu log gone 2 weeks time? Menu log, no more. Kaput, Australian company, gone.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. So you've also got this one about the high-tech cameras
on our streets. And if you thought you'd seen more of these council cameras popping up around the city, you'd be correct.
We started off with a trial and we have expanded it to now 41 locations. And the focus is really around keeping our city moving.
That's a 10-fold increase from this time last year when the technology was first rolled out, with 200 devices now installed across Brisbane.
Last financial year, we had 44,000 illegal parking complaints. And so using that data, we really found hotspots.
Fortitude Valley, St Lucia and 8 Mile Plain.
Oh, for God's sakes. Can't play it. I just can't stand it.
They've still got compliance officers driving around as well, guys, doing exactly the same thing. You know, you are not going to be able to, don't fart, all right, because they'll smell it and that'll cop you. That'll be a fire, especially if you're driving while you fart. I mean, you know, seriously.
Well,
there'll be gas monitors soon in the cars. They'll know if you farted or not. Your insurance company will be rung.
We've got a lot of news actually out of the UK, like two different completely different stories here. So first of all, you've got the Islamist plot. Now, somebody smuggled in some footage and videoed them, and they're just basically talking about taking over not just Birmingham, but the West Midlands, and eventually all of Britain. Okay.
Yep.
So very interesting. But you've also got multiple plots to oust Keir Starmer as Prime Minister are underway. So now one of them is the military, with the threats of 9 generals threatening to resign because he was planning on he committed to the Ukraine 30,000 British troops. What's interesting about this is that somebody has put, the storm has arrived. Kirill Dmitriev, he's actually basically done a handshake on it.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. So
yeah,
it's now
quite
also
interesting.
It is. Now, Katie Hopkins, she has put out this video about what's going on with her and the harassment that she is undergoing.
So I'm back here at Devon and Cornwall Police Headquarters. In May 2025, I was threatened with arrest if I didn't turn up to be interviewed under caution, and my alleged crime was hurty words on my own pub night, the Katie's Arms, about myself because I called myself a spaz. So I had to come here and be interviewed under caution for over an hour by 2 members of CID representing Devon and Cornwall and Dorset. Like Dorset doesn't have its own problems without dealing with me. For 7 months I have been interviewed, told charges were pending, awaiting charges, to finally find out there's no charges to face. I would like to state 3 things. Number 1, my grateful thanks to the Free Speech Union for their support and commitment to my free speech and that of others. Most legal types won't touch me in case they catch cancel culture off me, but the Free Speech Union were there every step of the way and continue to be. The second point is that the process is the punishment. This may seem like a joke, in fact it is a joke, but at the same time I need to turn up every day. I cannot let my ticket holders down, and I have a team that depend on me for their income, and I will not let them down, and this plays havoc with that because you have to prepare. And I'm very clear, point 3, I am a spaz. I will continue to state that boldly so that others who are going through their own issues know that they can fit in. I say all the best of us are weird, and I think it's my job to create chaos so that more people out there who don't necessarily fit into the regular mould can feel like they belong. I will end with this, please.
We'll have the new spaz group turning up over in England now.
Yeah,
Katie, she's a legend, isn't she?
Everyone's got to have a safe space, including the spazzers. So now we've also got this interesting stuff that's coming out of Brazil. Have a look at this.
Yeah,
Now
that's
they're
the COP25.
Yeah, they've done that to COP25. So, and the reason being is, well, you can understand why. Like, look at these. This is the climate change people, okay? Look at what they've done. So they bulldozed 100,000 trees in the Amazon rainforest for a highway to shuttle 50,000 delegates to COP30. And private jets are falling from the skies in a carbon confetti parade. Like, it's just unbelievable. But you know what I noticed, Dave? What did you notice? Did you notice the red dirt?
Yeah, now you say it, yeah.
Yeah, that's that red's iron. So when you got red dirt like this, so I reckon they've put that road through there under the guise of climate, the climate summit. I think what it is, though, is so I don't know what their environmental laws are, but it's probably very similar to ours. Once the area has been created a road through, damaged, vandalised in this case, that it loses that status. So it looks to me like they've actually put that in there, knowing that there's massive iron deposits there.
And that was actually just put in to handle the COP25 jets, was it? Landing to go to a particular place.
Yeah. So according to these, COP30, hypocrisy, which is just, again, more outrageous. And you also have this question being asked, and it's brilliant. He's asking the question that no one else in the media has done with regards to the COVID lab leak.
Be a nightmare where we're in a matrix.
I think there are two elements to this, and one is, did they start out ab initio to produce something to do harm to mankind, to decrease our reproductive ability?
Yeah.
Or did they find out that it did that and then continue? And when you have knowledge, then it becomes deliberate. I did a film with CHD, with Bobby Kennedy, on the use of an altered tetanus vaccine in developing countries, where they had integrated the human chorionic gonadotrophin molecule into the vaccine, so that when you gave the vaccine to women who were not told about this at all in developing countries, then what you saw was a rise in the immune response against HCG, essential to maintenance of healthy pregnancy, and women becoming infertile. This was a deliberate attempt, including funded by the Gates Foundation, to render women infertile with absolutely no informed consent whatsoever. From that point forward, I began to believe that if they were capable of doing that, and that was deliberate, then all bets are on.
These guys are just freaking evil, man. Gates here, he's behind. The devil wears Prada, guys. The devil wears Prada.
And something that's very interesting with what he said there is, especially when you think about who Noah Yuval Harari is. Listen to this, what he says about science.
You need to convince everybody to believe in the same story. What really the engine of history is stories. And they don't even need to be true. Right. Some of the most powerful stories in history were fictions. Even the KGB could do it. Right. And we are already beginning to see the emergence of such total surveillance regimes in places like Xinjiang, in places like in my own home country in Israel. We have this big laboratory of surveillance called the Occupied Territories, where you have 2.5 million guinea pigs of how to completely survey and control a population with very few soldiers. I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's amazing how few soldiers you need to control millions of people if you have their data.
If you have that data, now he also goes, I'll cut that in the wrong place again, but what he actually says is it doesn't need to be true. The science doesn't need to be true. It just has to be a good story. So,
yep.
You know, this is the kind of people that we're dealing with here. Anyway, look, we've got heaps on this weekend, so let's have a look at what everyone's up to, and I'll bring on the flyers now.
And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. There is also a court call-out for court support for New South Wales Police versus Rocco at the JMT District Court, Sydney. Read driver's licence disqualification. This is on the 1st of December 2025. And there's a court call-out for court support for New South Wales Police versus Michael Schultz at Penrith Court on the 24th of the 11th of the 25. Re a traffic matter. And there is a court call-out for court support in Tamworth Council versus Rocco at the JMT Local Court in Sydney on the 4th of the 12th of the 25th, and that is for rate arrears. And there is a court call-out on Friday the 14th of November at 9 a.m. at New South Wales Supreme Court. Dr Beverly Pearce and Rod Cullerton are suing High Court Registrar Anna Bennett for perverting the course of justice and blocking access to the High Court. And Mullumbimby in New South Wales will be holding an 8:32 muster from Friday the 21st to Monday the 24th of November. Book a campsite at Mullumbimby Showground. And on Saturday the 22nd of November, there is an Abolish Abortion Australia conference. This will be featuring T. Russell Hunter, founder of Abolitionists Rising. The tickets are $27.78 and it is on Saturday the 22nd of November, 11:30am to 4:30pm, 12 Belvedere Street, Surrey Hills. Every Saturday in Melbourne at 10am, there is an instructing of the Governor at the Governor Gates. And in Melbourne, Justice for the People would like to remind everyone that they gather every Sunday at 4:30pm at the Shrine of Remembrance. And the Worldwide Rally for Freedom will be hosting Save Australia, Albo Must Go, Stop Mass Immigration, Stop Government Corruption, Saturday the 15th of November, 12pm, Parliament House, Melbourne. And there will be a mass non-compliance date against the digital ID, starting on the 11th of November for 11 days. On the 11th day of the 11th month, cash only or pre-plan, no online purchases and no purchases. A Stand in the Park is having a mega stand on Sunday the 7th of December at Jackandanda Reserve Woodlands. Let's bring all the Western Australia stands together for an unforgettable event from 10am. The Adamogo Freedom Campout is on again, first weekend of December 2025. There's free camping, pub meals, and there's an open mic. And United Voice Australia are holding Australia Unites rally. Stop mass immigration now and address the cost of living. This is on the 23rd of November, 12pm, Rundle Park, Adelaide. And the Vaccine Injury Bus Tour will be happening again. November 10th, Wollongong. November 11th, Kiama. 12th, Nowra. 13th, Ulladulla. 14th, Narooma. 15th, Merimbula. 16th, Yass. 17th, Goulburn. And 18th, Bowral. Every day at 3pm on X, there is a daily prayer space. Melissa, 146 239 23.
Thank you to all participants out there. I know there's a lot more than that going on too, guys. There's heaps happening out there, so just get involved with it.
All right, so I got lots of news from just all over the place, but the main stories at the moment are certainly out of the USA. But just very quickly, we have this in Canada. So the Canadian farmers have had enough. They're organising a huge protest for the 22nd. And we know what happened last time. The truckers and the farmers basically kicked off and went to, I think it was Ottawa, wasn't it? Or that was your mate.
Yeah, Kingy, that was Pat. Yeah, that was one
That's right. And you also have this story out of Russia, which is very interesting. So what Russia has done is Russia is finalising a groundbreaking law. So stay-at-home mums will be recognised as officially employed with paternity leave, fully counting towards their pensions. So that is absolutely cool. You also have this situation. Oh, actually, let's go to this one first because he's Russian. So Kirill, again, man, I tell you what, he is dropping truth bombs left, right and centre. And he tweeted, Russia does not doctor President Trump's speeches, which the BBC did. And somebody responded by saying, because Trump and Putin have a common plan to expose the European puppets, I can't wait to see how this movie ends. Kirill then posted, it ends well. Notice, though, the handshake?
Oh.
The handshake was also what he did with Starmer. When with the storm is here, the Starmer is here. So I found that very interesting. You know, there's little clues that they drop in there. Now you also have.
Let's get to the end of the movie, and then we can sort out the country, guys. Hey, get our freedoms back for our children and our future.
Oh yeah. All right. Now you also have this, which is just incredible, and that is that Netanyahu has helped funnel funds to Hamas through Qatar, and it was $3.5 million a month.
Wow.
The Senate is the Synod. I think it's called the Synod over there. The Synod. No, that's not. It's not the Synod. What is it? It's something else. I can't remember. Anyway, at the moment, it escapes me. Anyway, they're going crazy at the moment. He is being gunned by his own people, and they are really not taking any hostages at the moment. But it's happening everywhere.
We're seeing it ramp up everywhere, Caz. It's ramping up everywhere. You know, like, yeah. Even here, guys, we're watching it ramp up.
It's happening everywhere. The exposure is incredible. You also have, of course, the UK has decided that they're not going to share intel. You know, the Five Eyes? Have a listen to this.
Yeah.
A breaking news exclusive now coming into the Situation Room. Watch this. The United Kingdom is suspending, listen to this, suspending some of its intelligence sharing with the U.S. because of the Trump administration's strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean.
We are joined now by senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak and CNN.
There's plenty of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, he lets the boats come over on his own area. Oh, it's just outrageous what's going on. Now, but also what's happening is the whole Obama administration and the Bidens are going down. Listen to this report by Jesse Waters. Leads directly to the CCP. We were telling you this, we were telling you this 3 years ago, but now it's becoming part of 4 years ago. Yeah, have a listen.
Fox News alert, we're learning what's in the Biden bribe document that the FBI has been trying to hide. And the allegation inside this document is explosive. Sources familiar with the document tell Fox News Digital that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were paid $10 million in bribes by Ukraine. This was while Joe Biden was...
So we know that. We've been reporting on that. It's not just by the Ukraine as well. They were actually paid extensively by the CCP. And then you have this situation where Trump's just basically made a joke
This is the
about it.
Presidential Walk of Fame.
Now, whose idea was this?
My idea. Everything's my idea.
Everything's your idea. Okay.
Yes, sadly.
Who's that guy?
That's Barack Hussein Obama.
Okay.
This is Biden right here.
Wait a second. The
Worst
profile of Biden is
So he's the worst president in the history of our country, and Barack Hussein Obama is top 5. Meaning bad.
Are you going to replace that with his actual photo?
No, I don't think so. Look at the faces on these people.
No, I don't think so. You also have, but remember that this is information that's been out, the same as this information. Remember this report, this interview with Julian Assange. So ISIS was funded by Saudi Arabia and Qatar. It was the Kenyan administration, it was Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Saudi Arabia, Qatar founded ISIS. So that's why they were very upset when the Russians just basically went in and dealt with them, because they dealt with them as terrorists. And no, they weren't supposed to do that. They were supposed to be a protected species. And finally, Tulsi Gabbard has dropped this bomb as well.
You look at where we are now. Over the last several weeks, we've declassified and released documents that exposed how President Obama and leaders in the intelligence community knowingly manufactured a false intelligence document after the 2016 election was done, after the American people said, no, we want Donald Trump to go and be our commander-in-chief, not Hillary Clinton. And this manufactured document alleged that Russia aspired to help President Trump win the election with the aim of undermining his presidency and usurping the will and the voices of the American people who sent Trump to the White House.
They're going down. They're just what they're doing at the moment is narrative seeding, building narrative till the point where people say, do something, do something. Well, actually, people are already saying, arrest these people, do something. Now, so, but anyway, look, we're being taken out in keeping with the Remembrance Day stuff. We're being taken out by Jack O'Hagan's God Bless Australia. So, Dave, if you would like to wrap up and close the show, I'll hit play.
No worries. Well, yeah, guys, Italy, as far as I know, is going well. So how well are we going to go, Australia? All right, someone just put a comment on here from some particular place where, card usage was 80%. Cash was 80%. Card was 20%. What an absolute brilliant start to what we're doing, guys, if that is in relation to us. So, yeah, that is you people. So, guys, let's just do this, all right? Get your money out the bank. Nothing but cash, all right? Get off the apps, okay? And as Penny just put, it looks like my place are down for a week or 7 days or something off Facebook. So there you go.
10 days.
10 days. So there's Penny's got another thing up there. Go through the comments, guys, and pick up on what's going on, okay? But, yeah, people, I suppose that we could also get out there and start hashtagging I'm a spaz. Hashtag I'm a spaz. Back up Katie Hopkins. And I don't mind being a spaz, guys. So do you want to spaz on with me? The way I was talking last night on that cut, you'd probably want to. But as I said, you guys out there especially, right, it's in the wrong bottle. But Moringa is a great thing, guys. All right. It's a really good Australian herb. All right. So just to classify that's what I was into yesterday with my Moringa dealer. Nothing more. Jeez, I open my mouth, don't I? Anyway, nothing but cash, guys. See you tomorrow night.
God-given land of ours, Australia, this proud possession, our own piece of earth, that was built by our fathers who pioneered our heritage. Here in Australia, the land of our birth. God bless Australia. But should danger ever threaten us, let the world